Hello everyone, Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews here today, and I present to you this 2016 Toyota RAV4. Now if you didn't know, the RAV4 was one of the very first compact crossovers on the market and is now one of the best-selling vehicles in America, selling over 200,000 units per year. The latest RAV4 generation has been out since 2013, but perhaps the biggest problem with this generation is that it doesn't stand out in one particular area. However, Toyota is looking to change that by introducing a new sporty SE trim level, as well as a very fuel-efficient hybrid model, and it will be the only hybrid in its class. On top of that, you have a new look on the inside and out, as well as more technology too. So, let's go ahead and check out this 2016 Toyota RAV4. Now with this new RAV4, Toyota wanted to make the styling much more aggressive and sporty looking, and they somewhat succeeded. Now it looks a lot like the Toyota Corolla now, and you can really see it in its headlights, but I'm actually very surprised that the RAV4 doesn't have standard LED headlights, but they are optional. And these headlights look like they came straight off Toyota's Corolla. But overall the styling is much more cleaner, it's much more sharp. You can also see a little bit of the new Prius inside of the RAV4's exterior styling. Now here goes the 2015 RAV4 over here, and then the 2016 RAV4. Pretty major difference. Now our trim of the RAV4 we do have here is the base LE trim, and it looks pretty good. We do get these really nice looking 17-inch alloy wheels. Now this color is known as the magnetic gray. Smart key access is available. Then you also do have a full-on black cloth interior. There's also some unique color combinations that you can get on the RAV4 now with the exterior colors and the interior colors too. You also do have a fully manual driver's seat. A power driver's seat is optional, of course. Alright, now stepping on inside of the updated RAV4 here, still very familiar. Not a whole lot has changed. They changed some panels inside of here, but it's still fairly the same basic overall design. Push button ignition is available. And what you're hearing there is Toyota's very familiar 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Now coming to your transmission, you have a carryover 6-speed automatic. You also do have manual shiftability. When you go for the new SE trim level for the RAV4, you do get paddle shifters. It's the only trim level that'll have paddle shifters. Putting the vehicle into reverse displays your standard rear view camera with guidance lines, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the headlights and then the hazards too. Automatic driver's side window. Let's go ahead and pop up the hood, check out the engine bay. Now you do have a little blind spot mirror on the side right here. LED turn signals are also available, as well as blind spot detection. Now with this new facelifted RAV4, Toyota wanted to make it more aggressive looking, as well as more premium looking too. You have new redesigned halogen projector beam headlights. LED headlights are also available, and LED daytime running lights now. Now what hasn't changed on the new RAV4 here is the base powertrain. It's a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder still that's borrowed from the Toyota Camry. It produces 176 horsepower at 6,000 RPM. And 172 pound-feet of torque at 4,100 RPM, with EPA estimates still being the same, 24 in the city and 31 on the highway for this front-wheel drive model. Now if you want, you can go for the new hybrid model, which is much more fuel efficient, and it's more powerful too, producing around 195 horsepower. And then you can also go for all-wheel drive if you want. Love these new 17-inch alloy wheels you get on the LE trim here. Total vehicle price is $25,790. Like I said, EPA estimates are 24 in the city and 31 on the highway. On the top right here, we also do have roof rails with crossbars. Coming to the rear of the vehicle, you have refreshed tail lights, and LEDs are also an option for the tail lights now. And you also do have a rear window wiper with the rear window defroster and an LED third brake light with a little rear spoiler at the top. All of your basic power necessities, power windows, power door locks, your power mirrors are located right here. Now, interior quality hasn't changed a whole lot in this generation RAV4. The materials and the build quality are still pretty average in the class. Now, this panel of the dash right here is all hard touch plastic, but you do have this molded stitching that gives it a slight upscale feel inside of here. But on higher end trim levels, this part does become soft touch instead of hard touch. And we do have the base LE trim here, so explains why it's hard touch plastic. Now also up here, it's hard touch plastic too. There's not a whole lot of soft touch materials inside of here. Up here it's also hard touch plastic. On the mid door panel on the armrest, it is wrapped in cloth at least, which is nice. The build quality is okay, it's average. Some of the interior trim and pieces do have panel gaps, and they do creak a little bit. Overall, build quality and materials can be improved inside of the RAV4 here. Now coming to the steering wheel design, the steering wheel, it's fairly stylish. I love the stitching that you get on the airbag cover. Gives it a slight upscale feel for the steering wheel. You also do have your steering wheel mounted audio controls right here, and then you have your Bluetooth phone controls as well as your voice recognition. Up here we also do have your manually dimming rearview mirror, sunglass container, map lights, and then down here we also do have a little storage pocket, a cup holder right there, and then a cup holder right here too. I kind of don't like how it's separated. You also do have your parking brake right here. And then right here is where you will find your USB port, your auxiliary input, and a 12-volt power outlet. And then you have your different modes, your sport mode and your eco mode, which I'll get to in just a second. The center console lid is also hard touch. It's only slightly padded. Center console storage is okay. Can't complain there. The steering wheel also does tilt and telescope manually. And it does have a pretty good range of adjustment. Now, new for the 2016 model year is the availability of a TFT information center with a little LCD screen. And since we do have the base LE trim, we do get the basic gauges in the instrument cluster here. But it's fairly traditional, it's simple. Coming over here on the left, we have your tachometer, your speedometers also in the center. And then you'll find your coolant temperature, your exterior temperature readout, and what gear you're in. And then over here you have your fuel gauge. Fairly basic, but on higher end trim levels you can get a much better information center. Coming to the AC controls, very simple and very clearly laid out. Can't get any simpler than this. You have your different zones right here, your fan speeds, and then your temperatures too. Dual zone automatic climate control is also optional on the RAV4. Now let's get to the head unit here. This is your Toyota Entune system. This is the fairly basic system, but it's pretty good looking for a base radio. And it's a very responsive touchscreen. It's also very user-friendly, one of the best in the business. Coming to your different media sources, we do have AM, FM, CD player with your optical disc drive, USB port with iPod integration, Bluetooth streaming audio, and your auxiliary input. Coming to car, you can view your information such as your MPG numbers, and then your average speed, your elapsed time, and then your fuel range is also right here too. Coming to Bluetooth, you can hook up your Bluetooth phone, have all of your contacts stored on here, as well as an integrated dial pad. Over here we also do have your seek and track buttons. And then coming to setup over here, you have your general, which you can view your clock. You could change the beep if you would like that, if you want that on or off. and then your color theme if you want it in blue, red, or yellow, and then you have your keyboard layout too, and then your voice settings that you could change. If you could change the voice volume, voice recognition prompts, display settings like the brightness and the contrast, and then camera settings too. Coming to Bluetooth settings, you can hook up your phones from here or delete phones if you want to. Then your audio settings, if you want to change your number of radio presets, or the display cover art if you want that on or off. Then your vehicle settings, vehicle customization like the door lock settings and the light settings. Many different settings you could change here. There's also an available JBL audio sound system in the RAV4 too. Coming up here, we also do have your traction control off button. Pretty small button located up here, kind of hard to find for some people. Now, as far as visibility goes in the RAV4, it's pretty good. It's easy to see out of the front windows, and I love how they have a new blind spot mirror too. When you get to a rearward visibility, it's pretty easy to see out of this vehicle, and a rear view camera does come standard, which is nice. There's also the availability of many new safety technologies such as forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, and lane departure warning, which is nice. And then you can get LED headlights and then LED daytime running lights too, and a new 360-degree view camera that you will also find on Lexus's RX, which is a nice premium feature. It's called the bird's eye view camera, which is pretty cool. Now, as far as the seats go, the seats are pretty comfortable in the RAV4, and they offer a decent amount of support. Thigh support is also decent as well. And I would probably take this vehicle on a longer trip. And the seats are a lot more plush in the new RAV4 here. Now, with this generation RAV4, Toyota also wanted to make the vehicle more fun to drive, and they succeeded. It's now sharper, more nimble, and agile in its handling, especially in the SE trim level. Now, we do have two different driver modes. You do have an eco mode, which is the most fuel efficient setting. That helps saves fuel a little bit. When you go into sport mode, that changes the throttle response a little bit, tightens up the steering a little bit, but not a whole lot. There's not a huge difference between the sport mode and the eco mode. And then you also do get the paddle shifters on the SE trim level, of course. Now, the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder does provide an adequate amount of power. But if you want more power, I would suggest going with that hybrid version. It does provide about 20 more horsepower than the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, the base powertrain. But overall, the new RAV4 still provides a very comfortable ride quality and is now more engaging to drive. Now, build quality and materials follow through in the rear. It's still wrapped in cloth on the armrest and the mid-door panel. Hard touch plastic on the upper door panel. Now, these second row seats do recline, and your headrests are also adjustable back here, which is nice. Now, sitting back here in the RAV4, there is a decent amount of legroom, as well as headroom too. There's lots of headroom actually. However, the roomiest vehicle in the compact crossover class is the Honda CR-V, so if you're looking for the best rear seat space, go with the CR-V. But it's still fairly roomy back here. You do have dual map pockets, and then a rear center armrest with cup holders. And the seats themselves are pretty comfortable overall. Would like a little more side bolstering, but thigh support is not too shabby. Alright. Trunk space back here in the RAV4 is pretty good, pretty average in the class. The rear seats do fold down to maximize cargo space, of course. I really do love the Honda CR-V's levers on the side right here where you just pull them, but it's still fairly easy to fold these rear seats down, which I'll show you in just a second. On XLE trims and above, you do get a standard power lift gate. But remember, we do have the LE trim here. And then you also find your spare tire right there too. Alright. Full manual passenger seat. Love this little storage cubby we get right here. Then you have your glove box compartment. So the 2016 Toyota RAV4 is an excellent choice for a compact crossover now. Because it now has a hybrid model available, it finally stands out in one particular area, and that's fuel efficiency. And on top of that, with its updated looks and new technology, it should remain a pretty good seller for Toyota. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.